Rick Jackson isn't just Madison's football coach and athletic director, he's also the father of 2 boys.
Believe me, my son had a brain injury when he was 4 years old. So I understand the scare, and I understand like brains are fragile. But what the neurosurgeons told me also is, you know, they're resilient and the skulls are hard, and my son was not limited from doing anything, you know, once he healed. You know, and we talked specifically about football. And our neurosurgeons told us that there would be no added threat to it.
Of those people that have post-mortem findings of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, how many people are actually symptomatic? And how do you predict, is somebody going to be symptomatic or not? Those are problems. Why do you have Junior Seau, where there was worry that depression and other findings were related to CTE, as opposed to Howie Long or Terry Bradshaw, where you don't have those problems.
Which brings in the question of education versus elimination. Jackson, as well as Dunn and every other high school football coach in California, are required to be educated on concussions, with Heads Up Football leading the way.
But I do know that youth coaches, they have to go through the training, or they don't have to, but most of them choose to go through USA Football Heads Up Football training, which means they go to classes, they get educated not only on concussion awareness, but everything else that USA Football has to offer in regards to safety and health and well-being.
But again, you're trusting an entity to push the narrative that it's safe or it's not safe for kids, but these are the same people that literally hid it for 20, 30 years of dangers to players until they literally started going crazy like a zombie movie, and then for some reason, you know, it finally came out and they knew about it and they wanted to pay it off to push it under the table and say, we'll do research. So, I mean, if you trust those kind of people to push the narrative and drive the car for your kid's safety, then that's a decision you have to make.
To make the assumption that with education and more people on the sideline and better equipment, that things aren't going to get better, doesn't make sense, because seatbelts have made things better. Helmets in bicycles have made things better. Every type of measure that we've taken equipment-wise has made things better. On the other side, people say, well, you're just admitting head injury's bad, so you're making a helmet better, which that's dumb. Well, why is it not the same for bicycles and snowing? Every snowboarder in the Olympics is wearing a helmet. And that's based upon the number of injuries people were having.
The authors of the Safe Football Act say that playing flag football, or in the case of high school, what they call passing league, is much safer. But the risk still remains.
I've seen concussions in 7-on-7. You know, I probably had a bad one about 5 years ago. You know, where we were playing in a 7-on-7 tournament, and 2 kids collided, going for a ball, and they hit head to head, and it was a bad concussion. So there's a level of risk in every factor.
So how do we solve it? Dr. Michael Klein proposes this.
So if you want to protect people, is despite the age, you start to segment people out based upon skill sets, strength, speed, and you keep the kids that are just developing away from those kids that are already past that point, because it's not a fair competition at that point.
Rick Willis, KUSI Sports.